Hi, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing a very exciting reading for you. Now, I'm going to be doing Pluto retrograde re entering into Capricorn, and Pluto revisiting Capricorn for the last time in about 250 years. So, this reading is so exciting, and I'm so happy to be able to bring it to you guys. If it resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really lets the YouTube algorithm, know that you guys like this kind of content. It shares it with more people, and it lets me know that you like this content too. So thank you so very much for doing so. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of, Capricorn, because this time it really affects us, especially if we have Scorpio in our chart, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Okay, that's going to be really, really powerful. This time is going to be really, really powerful for us. So let's see here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Be mindful of the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is an interesting card because it is such a positive card. Be mindful of who you believe is showing up for you, but also be mindful of what you are perceiving as success. Because during this time, with Pluto retrograde re-entering into Capricorn, Pluto brings out of the shadows a lot of secrets, a lot of secrets. And we could be thinking, but that's the proper way you're supposed to be doing things. We're ruled by Saturn. We like rules. We like order. We like structure. And that's just who we are. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's actually, those are very admirable things. But we're looking at things and saying, well, they did it this way, or this was done this way, and that's the way it's supposed to be done. And we could be looking at people who are more successful and thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? But note, a lot of secrets going to be coming up. Be mindful of who you think is a success. There we go. And how you want to emulate them. Emulate you. Be as you can possibly be, Capricorn, because that is going to let you shine. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Ooh, okay. Purposeful. In everything that you do, in every way that you move forward, be purposeful. Be present, be proactive, and whatever you are doing, like be in that moment and embrace that grace. That is going to be just so powerful for you to be purposeful, to be determined, to be insightful, to be you. When people say like, be mindful, right? Mindfulness, it's purposefulness also. You're being mindful, you're being in the present, you're being purposeful in your thoughts, in your actions, in your movements, in your being, even in your breath. And this is going to be a time, Capricorn, where we absolutely excel when we are super present in our bodies, in our souls, in ourselves. And that sounds like, well, duh, Dane, but there's there's one thing of like knowing it, right? If I'm more present in me, then I will be more successful. And there's another thing to actually being more present in ourselves, because it's kind of like, well, how can I not be present in me? It's my body, it's myself, it's my life. But so often we kind of run on autopilot, or we're overwhelmed and we're not really tuning in. This is a time that we need to start tuning in. Let's see what Spirit has to say to us through the tarot. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, so very interesting that I do know people get upset when they see everything upside down. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just the way the cards want to be heard. That being said, we have a tendency during this time, because we have the devil turned upside down. Okay, the devil represents us, which I think is rude in the tarot, but it is what it is, right? But this is telling us that we can have a tendency, Capricorn, to get in our own way. So being aware of that can be very, very helpful. But then reading this as we're releasing ourselves from a lot of chaos that we were bound to before, like a lot of negative habits, a lot of negative things, that is going to accelerate us in a beautiful, beautiful way. Now, I want to talk about the astrology of this time for just a moment. So Pluto retrograde, Pluto retrograde began in Aquarius on May 1st, right? 2023. And it moves into Capricorn June 11th to October 10th, 2023. All right. And then it kind of flip flops. It goes back into Aquarius, it goes back into Capricorn, it goes back into Aquarius, it goes back into Capricorn up until November 2024. So, according to the senior astrologer of astrology.com, and I do apologize if I'm butchering her name, Narayana, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I have it linked in the description box below, in the link to her Instagram. What she says is, we will continue to see big names, politicians, billionaires, media personalities fall from grace as Pluto continues to expose the hypocrisy. While we are already seeing this trend, it will exacerbate when Pluto forms a square with the lunar node of destiny between June and September of this year. This will be mind-blowing to see. It will be mind-blowing to see how this is related to the decomposing of our old situations, of our old structures, paving the way for new ones to be built once Pluto finally stays in Aquarius for good, which will not happen until November 2024. And so here during this time, as Pluto is going back and forth, the planet of death, the planet of rebirth, the planet of destruction, we will see doors closing. Will it be a bad thing? No, Capricorn. Actually, you're going to be closing some of the doors yourself. It's going to be like, you know what? No, thank you. I don't want this. I don't want that. The dying away of the old, a rebirth of the new, a stepping into your power. And there are certain things that are going to fall apart. Whether we wanted them to or not, we're going to see them fall apart. There's going to be a part of us during this time that's like, that wants to hold on to the rules of things, that thinks if it's just done as justly, as fairly, as to the letter of the way it's supposed to be done, then everything can move along evenly. But remember, shadows, the lies, the hurts, the pains, the hypocrisy of it all is going to come to the light. And that's going to be something here at Capricorn that when we see it, we're like, okay, this game not being played fair. That's why we have to be mindful, because there are going to be people that we really, look up to, or we think, wow, they have it all, don't they? But in the back of our minds, we're thinking, I don't really like them. Like, I should like them, but I don't really like them, and I don't know why. So with the two of wands crowning things, we're going to see doors closing. And it might not be the whole big expanse of the world that we always thought we would be dealing with. But we're finding our corner. We're finding our space, our place. And we're really breaking away from a lot of addictions, a lot of, bad habits that we have had, that the world has has given us, this is what it takes to be successful type of thing, but also negative coping mechanisms that we've acquired over time. And this can be, things that are harmful, like, drugs and alcohol and, everything like that, right? Things that we see can be addictive and we know, okay, not good for you. But it can also be over exercising, eating so clean that we become very restrictive in our meals, being so, fastidious with things that we're not enjoying them anymore. And we're going to see ourselves releasing. And as we are releasing, we are embracing our joy and our beauty and our grace and our power. We are really sitting there and saying, I don't want that anymore, right? I want to be me now, because this is Capricorn energy reversed, and that's us. We can get in our own way. We can say, but this is what success is supposed to be, but this is what you're supposed to do, but you're not measuring up to this person or that person, because we like concrete things, tangible things to say, that's successful, that's not successful, that's power, that's not power. And this is going to be a time for us where we kind of have to be kind to ourselves. Not kind of, we have to be kind to ourselves. Get off your back. Let yourself be. Treat yourself with grace and compassion. Because Capricorn, first of all, you deserve it. And secondly, you're doing a really great job. So knowing here that we're releasing a lot of things that we might not even think are negative habits, or negative to us, but we're releasing a lot of things that are no longer, important in our lives, that no longer are welcome to our well-being. And it brings us to the Hangman. We're just looking at things so differently. The Hangman reverse is like we looked at things differently and we could feel like different. And, we don't really like that, because we want to kind of fit in to places and spaces. And this is, again, what success is and structure is and power is and prosperity is. But with the Hangman reversed, there is a real sense of like, I need to look at it differently. I need to look at all of it differently again. And it can make us think, will I ever find, like that's the right path and that's what I'm going to follow and that's how it's going to be. All is flux and nothing stays the same, right? Pluto said that like, I could think 200 years before the Common Era began. So if it was true then, and it still rings true now, it's a super truth. That's how I always see it. So here, you're looking at things differently. You're looking at your life differently. You have different goals and desires and the way that you want to move forward. And it's time that you absolutely embrace that and not think, oh, but I have to fit this mold. Because you're going to see during this time that you're really releasing things that no longer hold a relevance to you, even if you think they should. There's a sense of like, well, I'll prove it to whomever, and especially to myself. I'll prove that I can do it. But the question is, why? And that's a big question. Who do you want to be celebrating you? Why do you want them to be celebrating you? It's time for you to celebrate you. It brings us to the Five of Swords reversed. And the Five of Swords, during this time, okay, we're going to be facing battles that we have faced before, but we're going to be facing them in a very different way. And sometimes we're going to be saying here, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not facing this anymore. I'm releasing. I'm just not doing this. So you're going to see certain things coming up. But I see you walking away. It's like, I don't want this. I don't want to move in this direction. This is not for me. I move forward for me. And you're releasing. There's somebody here who's going to think, I really got one over on you, Capricorn. I really won. But what they realize, what they don't realize, but what you realize is they won something you don't want. You just don't want it. And you come to that realization now, and it's so empowering. It's like, I don't want this battle anymore. I don't want this nonsense anymore. And it brings us to the Magician reversed. There's going to be a point in time here where you realize, I need to start standing before the altar of my existence and saying, I claim my gifts, I claim my strengths, I claim my power, I claim me. Because we're not doing it right now. There's a sense of shying away from what we really want and who we really are and where we really want to be for ourselves. And so during this time, Capricorn, there's going to be a stepping back into, but this is who I am. And as we do this, we start to feel more emboldened, more empowered, more determined, more forceful in the way that we're moving forward in our lives and in what we really desire for our lives. But our power first, like our sense of this is my worth, this is what I desire, this is what I want, it gets turned on our heads. We think, I don't have a voice. Like I can't possibly. But what we're going to see here is that as the lies come out, as the hurts come out, as the pains come out, we're like, oh, well, maybe there isn't a way to move forward in success that like, this is what success is. This is what power is. This is what, what it's supposed to be. Maybe, just maybe, I'm supposed to be me and hold my head up high. And that's it. That's the key. And that's going to be a really, really, really big thing for you, Capricorn, where you start to say, all the chains that have held me back, everything I thought I was supposed to be the person I thought I was supposed to be. Now I'm saying to myself, what do I want? How do I need to move forward? Because I just see you like kind of like a dragon's egg. Not kind of like, I see a dragon's egg opening up. And it's like this huge spreading of the wings and, flying forward, and just like this magical moment. You have a magical moment, but it's because all the nonsense, you're releasing it and you're saying no more, no more. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. It's the Three of Cups. It's the people who are supposed to be celebrating us, but couldn't. And we were always waiting for them to show up. And there's also the sense of like, if I can just achieve this, be good enough for this, be this enough, this person will accept me, or they'll say well done, or they'll be on my side. They're not. They're out for them. And that's a good thing to know. Or they'll only compliment you when it suits them. Be aware of that. It moves us to our subconscious spirit message. Here it is mindful. Mindful reverse. Purposeful. Didn't spirit say like purposeful, mindful? Spirit had a say them, like had me say them together. We have a bit of difficulty being mindful. We have a purpose and we can be filled with that purpose. But letting that purpose seep into our mind, seep into our thoughts, move us forward in power and distinction, that can be difficult. It brings us to our subconscious, tarot message, which is the Tower. Subconsciously, there's a huge change coming. And I see this, I've been seeing this card lately, like Rapunzel locked away in the tower, right? And it's like everything's great in the tower, everything's just fine. But you start to realize that there's more out there. And then the tower starts to crumble. Because there was a sense of, how do I open up the doors? Even though here it's saying, we're closing doors, right? We're closing doors. We're looking more inwardly at what we want, at who we are, what's important to us. What we have here with the tower is that things have fallen apart. And now we're going to start to see that a structure that we thought would always be, or a way that we thought would always be, now no longer is. There's a lot of intense emotions. There's a lot of feelings coming at us. And what we're going to see here is like, how am I empowered to move forward in what I want and what I desire? Subconsciously, we know that a lot of change is coming into our lives. Emotionally, how do we handle this? We handle it by allowing ourselves to feel fully as we are and not in comparison to anybody else, and not judging ourselves for our feelings. And then all of a sudden, there's going to be a point where we start to say, I've been through these storms so many times. There's a power in change, and there's a power in me. That sense that I can ride out the storms, the sense that I can stand up after everything falls down and know what I want in my life. Even if it's just like, I don't want to go through that again, type of deal. There's a confidence that comes after a tower time, but there's a healing that comes as well. That healing has to come first. Then the confidence comes. And we're going to see that because there's a sense of feeling very out of control. And then very much and very mindfully pulling ourselves back into the driver's seat and saying, I am moving forward for me and in power with me. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time, of this rare time, and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed time. Bye.